Hey everyone, it is Matt with ESC United. Hopefully your favorite Eurovision channel. If not, I'll keep working on that. Good evening to you all in Europe. Good day to all you here on America side, I guess. And good night in Australia. I don't know. I forgot what time zone we're in right now and where and why. It's been quite a journey. And I'm here to have as always, we have the pre-chat before the Eurovision Grand Final finale that is taking place at 9 p.m. Central European time. And I figured I'm going to jump on a few minutes early since I was tired of typing. And it is a busy day in terms of Eurovision news. I think it's the least thing to say. So thank you everyone for joining me here. And we have a lot to talk about, and I'll answer as many questions as humanly possible in the chat. And I know there will be repeats. I did change the chat, first of all, to slow chat. I figured it out. Woohoo! Just because otherwise the chat is going crazy and there's too much spam. The first thing I will ask everyone, please be polite, please be respectful, even if you disagree with me or any of the people in the chat. I'll try to be as fair and respectful as humanly possible, but it is, of course, a very touchy and sensitive subject, everything that's been going on. And I think it's fair to say this has been the wildest Eurovision day I have experienced, or not even day, the past 24 to 48 hours have been an experience. And that is just, one way to put it. So people are referring to my, yeah, it's been growing the last few days. I just had no time. It's like I'm doing this or I'm going to sleep or feed the dog who is now finally falling asleep again. So yeah, so forgive me about that. But I just wanted to, as always, if you want to talk to me at ESC United as much as possible. And of course, super chats come first, but I want to make sure that I answer as many questions as possible. So as we all know, Eurovision has been a little of a crazy ride. It started with the whole, whether Israel should or should not be in Eurovision. We can talk about that until the cows come home as well. So that was even before the contest took place, but the last 48 hours or 36 hours, something like that. It took a little bit of a shift, and it all became about the Netherlands and their incident. There's more stuff. I know there's a whole lot more going on. I can just only address one thing at a time. As Joost Klein was set to had his first dress rehearsal yesterday afternoon, and he was in the flag parade, and then he was in, that's it. Then as they were going on stage to perform in fifth, they got pulled off as they were bringing on the actual keyboard. So, and then he got pulled off stage, and nobody knew. Even the people, the EBU in the room, did not know what was going on. And before things get heated, thank you for this amazing stream this year. EC United has been impeccable this year. Thank you so much for the kind words on that one. And thank you for being here, Sarah, saying thank you so much. So as we know, and then all the news broke that there was an incident that involved the Dutch artist. And we're like, what incident are you talking about? So very little information came out of that one. And then all of a sudden, he did not return for the jury show, and just a clip from semifinal 2 was used. And then today in the morning, my night, maybe early afternoon, I don't even know, the news broke that Joost Klein has been disqualified from Eurovision, which is a first. So the Netherlands is not in the running. They still get to vote. They still get to do all of that, but they will not be eligible to vote for, other countries to vote for the Netherlands. And of course, Europapa will not take the Eurovision stage. There could be still some breaking news, by the way, as I'm talking, but I highly doubt that is going to happen. So basically, we did get very little information. It was about with some staff or some photographer, some incident, and the EBU felt while the investigation is ongoing, it would not be reasonable to have him in the Eurovision Song Contest taking part. The voters made a statement saying that they disagree with that decision, and it was an overreaction or a disproportionate reaction to what was going on. A lot of speculation, a lot of craziness was going on. What happened? Of course, we heard the craziest things out there. And ultimately, we finally got at least a little bit of information. There's still a two sides of the story kind of situation. But let me share my screen real quick. Those who have not seen it yet, because I did post a video earlier about Joost Klein not making it, but I didn't have these updates ready. But an incident occurred after last Thursday's performance against clearly made agreements. This is from the Reuters, of course, the Dutch broadcaster. Joost was filmed when he had gotten off stage and had to rush to the green room. At that moment, Joost repeatedly indicated that he did not want to be filmed. This wasn't respected. This led to a threatening movement from Joost towards the camera. And Joost did not touch the camera woman. This incident was reported following by an investigation by the EBU and police. Yesterday and today, we consulted extensively with the EBU and proposed several solutions. Nevertheless, the EBU has still decided to disqualify Joost Klein. Our Reuters finds the penalty very heavy and disproportionate. We stand for good manners. Let there be no misunderstanding about that. But in our view, an exclusion order is not proportional to this incident. We are very disappointed and upset for the millions of fans who were so excited for tonight. What Joost brought to the Netherlands and Europe shouldn't have ended this way. And from what I saw just a minute ago, let's see if I have that still up, that there were several options. According to the director of Reuters, he made a statement saying that they offered the EBU in order to prevent a disqualification, for Joost publicly to apologize, a talk between all parties involved, and a shared statement between AT and EBU. But apparently that was not enough. So that is basically what we have. We know there is another side, so we want to be a little bit fair here, right? We don't know everything, but that is in a nutshell what was happened. The EBU decided to send the Netherlands packing this year, and we will not see them at the contest. I know there was another crisis meeting during the third dress rehearsal with the EBU, because this is getting a little out of control, because a lot of artists are upset, other broadcasters are upset, other spokespeople are upset, and there's some alleged withdrawals, although we have no confirmation on that either. So take that with a grain of salt, because there's money involved if you just withdraw at this point. So I would not put too much into stock into those kind of rules. So basically, that is where we are at. And of course, there's more happening, right? We know about some other incidents, but just focusing on the Dutch incident, that is the issue at hand. Now, people are complaining about hypocrisy, because in this case, they're pointing at the Israeli delegation who has broken the rules on many different occasions. And there's evidence for that out there. So that is whether it's recording people without their permission, intimidating individuals, and all of that stuff. And that, according to people, feels like a double standard, that they do not be treated the same way. So we can again argue for a long time whether or not that is a fair statement or not, but that is what's being, that's the accusation by several artists, fans, and even media. So that is just a quick rundown. I'm sure I missed some pieces. But yeah, it is a very difficult topic, and news may break as I talk here as well. And we don't know what's going to happen. I know that also a lot of people made statements like, since the Dutch are still allowed to vote, Nikki from, the host from a couple of years, 21, so it's been 3 years already, co-host. She was the one that announced the fake points for the Netherlands, and she said, "Oh, I didn't know we were still allowed to vote. Let me find my rule book. I think there's a long conversation needed after this." So I'm sure he's going to say something similar tonight. I know that the French singer Slimane also stopped singing at some point and made a statement. It was very vague. It was, let's just come together. I want peace. So he also had voice issues, of course, and all of that stuff. So it was, it's a lot. And once again, it is a very, very draining experience for everyone, because we have never seen that before. And it's just rough. So I wanted to go through some of the things that also happened. And as I'm refreshing my information here, keep in mind I'm moving between monitors. So we also know that still all the protests are going on outside the arena and throughout the city in Malmo and other cities as well. That's more related to Israel's participation and the current situation with, in Gaza. And there are lots and lots of people out there from what I'm hearing. And what's crazy is, that's a bit more about the Dutch news. It's now an American news, and America never really talks about Eurovision. Sometimes you get like this tiny little snippet on news, after the win, but nothing before. And now it's actually on CNN News in America. So it is certainly traveling around the world, these crazy information. I know that we have a lot to talk about. So questions that you have at ESC United in the chat, I will definitely address them, but you need to talk to me. So happy to see you again, Matt. Thank you for the ESC team to have made these days less difficult. What is your opinion about all of that? My opinion is, here's the thing. I understand that we are all upset. I'm upset as well. And it seems, I agree with Avrotos, from what we know, a disproportionate response to the incident. Putting whatever you want to have, but now with the Israeli breaking rules aside, right? Put that aside. We don't know what threatening means. Clearly, the photographer or the camera person crossed a line and also broke the rules, right? And I posted something on Twitter. You're not allowed to broadcast someone without their permission in private settings. So that could be an issue as well, because once you're behind stage and all of that stuff, that's no longer like public, right? So I don't know what Joost did. Did he more like, I'm going to punch you in the face, I'm going to beat the crap out of you, or, or like threatening, that kind of stuff. I don't know how dramatic it was. It may not be appropriate what he has done. right? So I don't know how far he has gone, but it's hard for me to believe that a disqualification, it must have been so dramatic what he has done for that to be justifiable. So I'm more leaning towards, what Avrota said makes sense, especially with the EBU unwilling to make any additional statements. And the EBU stands as the least amount of communication as humanly possible. And I feel like it served them in the past, but now for them, it's getting out of hand. And that is the issue because people are unhappy. So, yeah, that's my opinion. So I'm always careful not to jump the gun because then, imagine Yost actually threatening her life or anything like that, right? That would have been bad. That would have been really bad. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying, we don't know exactly what was said. So I just want to be a little careful. But based on the information that we have from the Dutch broadcast and what the EBU provided to us, it seems indeed a disproportionate decision because that's like so dramatic. I've not seen that before. Thank you so much, Sadie, for the super chat. Thank you for bringing back to Team to the Mods. You have shown complete professionalism throughout this, and credit to those in Malmo too. Thank you for saying that. It seems like sometimes with the responses you get online, that's like the opposite. But I'm trying, and I understand I'm a human being. I have inconsistencies. I can be a hypocrite too, but I'm trying to be at least somewhat reasonable. That's why I'm trying to put certain things aside and just look at the Dutch situation first on its own merit. And that's what I'm saying. It seems disproportionate, unless it was so dramatic that the Dutch broadcaster downplayed it as well. And I will say, I know plenty of Dutch people. And one thing I know about the Dutch, they're very, very careful with the kind of stuff. They would not take the side of the bad guy if, unless they feel like this is actually, that he's being mistreated. So I put a lot of stock in what Avrotos is saying in that statement that what they put out. That's why I'm a little bit more, like it seems as it doesn't seem quite fair. She should go to jail for destroying his career. Well, I would be careful with that as well. I understand the upset right now. I'm with you on that. It's just, if, let's just say I hold a camera, right? Now I'm recording you. Sure, I should get into trouble for not following the rules or even the law, right? But being threatened as well, depending on what the threat was, we need to be careful not like villainizing the person either, because then we're entering dangerous territory. I don't want to do that. But we can look at only what we have in front of us. Thank you so much, Bernie, as well, for the super chat. First time doing a super chat here. Well, I appreciate it. With all the insanity, should Eurovision going on as scheduled? Yes, I still think it should go on, but I really hope the EBU stops. What's the word I'm looking for? Not silencing. Yeah, but silencing people that want to say something on the show. They are so good at keeping any sort of voices of dissent quiet. And that was always my biggest concern with the EBU. I've been saying that for years. It's gotten really, really bad, but I'm just a small little YouTuber or running a website. I have zero power. And that, for the first time, I can see something is potentially changing, how this, hush hush behind their scenes, is coming to bite them because they hold all the power and they have been using that. And maybe this time they thought they could get away with it, but they don't. So that is something that it needs to be evaluated. A lot of people calling for, heads to roll, metaphorically, like meaning people resigning, losing their job, all of that stuff. Let's talk this through. I mean, they're of course pointing at Martin Osterdahl. I think there needs to be a lot of discussion for sure after this. I'm gonna wait for all of this to unfold completely, because there's still, there is still information missing. So that's how I feel. Do you think that the EBU will restrict even more fan press at the event next year? Thanks for all your hard work. Well, this has been the goal anyways, right? This has been a gradual change. And it's only going to continue. I'm expecting it. That's why I'm also trying. I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair towards the EBU. I'm trying to be fair towards the artists and the person that reported the incident, because did that person feel really that threatened, or was there like an ulterior motive or superior? I don't know. We don't know. So I want to just be very careful. And I don't think I'm saying or doing stuff that would prevent us from going in the future. But just based on what I'm hearing, look at Cornel Maas, the not the spokesperson, excuse me, the commentator for the Netherlands, he had a very strongly worded tweet out there as well, and he is very, very measured, like most Dutch. They're very measured people. They're very dry and direct, but I kind of like that about them. I started becoming more Californian bubbly friendly, but I'm still so plus my role here requires be a little bit more tactful. But yeah, it's just a lot right now. That's why I'm just a little hesitant towards some of the things here. Then the EBU director, Noel Curran, he told SVT News, actually, I cannot look back and say that the EBU has made the wrong decision. We saw that Israel's TV company had not broken any of the EBU rules regarding the competition. That, of course, seems to be incorrect based on just the information we have heard and the videos that we have seen. Now, some of them you could say they're minor and maybe shouldn't result in any sort of disqualification. Fair. But it just saying they didn't break any rules, that is not just a stretch. That is just inaccurate. Now, you can say they didn't break rules that we feel is enough to disqualify them. Then we can at least have a conversation. But this complete denial, doesn't sit well with me either. So at this point, we do know there must be film of the incident. So whatever Klein did, there will be evidence. That's what I'm hoping as well. At some point, I don't know the laws in Sweden when it comes to releasing any sort of evidence on all of that stuff. Every country has different rules. So I don't know if we'll get to see it, but certainly if there is any sort of prosecution for Joost Klein for his behavior, so he broke Swedish law, let them deal with it. But I think disqualifying him just based on this, I don't know if it seems very dramatic, at least based on the information that we have. If the EBU has more information that I feel like, look, this is why. And I think Avrotos, you are being too nice about this. And here's why. Look what he did. He was like, I don't know. I don't know what he could have done that would justify that. But give us something. And people saying, well, they cannot speak on, an open investigation. Clearly, you can provide some information. Avrotos has done that, and so can other places. You don't have to go into details. You don't have to say Mary Smith, who lives at 34 Main Street, did this. No, of course not. There needs to be some confidential information. But when you make such a blanket statement and just give us virtually nothing, it's more like, trust me, bro. This trust me, bro thing is just not the right approach for me. So, yeah, it's just, it's unfortunate that this is also how it panned out. Because I understand they don't want to share too much because, we want to be mindful even towards, but right now, people are out there saying Joost wants to hit women and da-da-da. And like, that's like libel and slander, depending which one, right? And I know those laws are much more strict in Europe. I live in America, so it's very difficult to prove libel or slander. You can, but it's not easy. So that is just terrible that we're going down that road. Now, and there are other rumors out there. I understand that people are claiming that person said some horrible stuff to Joost that what made him freak out. So we don't know if that's accurate or not. That's why I'm like, it's rough. So I keep reading stuff. The Dutch commentator for tonight's show and a member of the I'm just reading his stuff right now that is happening. There's a video I cannot really listen right now. Cornel Maas. Let me here see if I can bring it up. It's just a video that was just posted as well. Let me see if I can bring up the sound as well. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Share. Okay, here we go.
Gespannen voor alles wat Eurovision is. Ik zou bijna zeggen, fuck de EU, maar dat zegt u ook. Hoe gaat het met Joost?
Oh, it's in Dutch.
Ik heb geen idee.
Yeah, my Dutch is not really good, so I'm not gonna. Sorry, I thought that wasn't actually a different language. Let me see if I get any other information here. I thought that was a more interesting video, or at least like easier video for me. Oh, he said, "Fuck the EBU." I'll just say it. I'm just quoting. "Fuck the EBU" is what Cornel Maas said. So that's what it was trying to say. So, yeah, he is certainly not happy. And the Dutch, they are very measured people. That's why I'm like, oh my God, this is insanity, you all. So that is crazy. So yeah, I'll keep looking here. I'm gonna have my group thing here up here and see if anything important comes up. So it's just a he said, she said situation at this point, but the EBU didn't even say that much. Therefore, it is what it is. Okay. Any questions that you have, you want me to address a little bit more at ESC United, so I can answer. And I know there are a lot of, I mean, I have 2 people on my team from the Netherlands. You may know Roy, he's on here all the time, and Melanie, who's more behind the scenes, and both of them, of course, are very feel deflated right now after all of this. And I can only imagine all the Dutch fans traveling to Malmö right now. The way the EB responded to Joost is effing insane. I'm going to say effing now because I don't want to swear too much because YouTube's going to slap me on the wrist. It was taken against Michael Ben David sexually harassing Sheldon Riley. Oh, I remember that, right? Yeah. It was so weird. It goes back to the whole conversation we just had about double standards. I know we're talking about Israel again. I don't want to always bring it back to Israel, but it is reality. Right now, the complaints that are happening are about the Israeli delegation who has been apparently harassing artists and recording them without their permission and even making fun of them and all of that stuff, which is number one, at a bare minimum, against the Eurovision spirit and potentially really breaking Eurovision rules actually as well. Thank you so much, Dimitris, for the super chat. It's the first Eurovision contest I remember where the phrase "Stop the war" is not only isn't the main theme, but it's also forbidden and censored. It is weird. Remember, the war is not over. Everyone knows it. 2005, we had songs about war and peace. Remember 1990 when the wall came down? In Germany, the Berlin Wall in Germany be reunited. Every other song was about reunification. And not a problem. People sing about war all the time. And the irony is the EBU just talked right before rehearsal started about this song from Portugal in the 70s that started a revolution. I'm like, you're proud that this song started a revolution, but now you're all like, meh, 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 meh. So, and I understand things change. We don't live anymore in the 70s. The contest has evolved. I understand all of that. But we've always had songs about war and peace and all that stuff. So, yeah, it is getting the censorship at the contest has gone very, very extreme to me. So, I wish Joost, I said it before on my Twitter. Yeah, if you're not Dutch, you're not much. And that is me saying so much love to my Dutch followers, the Dutch team, and everyone, the fans of the Dutch song, even. This sucks. This sucks, especially with the information that we have available. It's just really, really, really shitty. And I don't know even what else to say about that, except I'm keep refreshing because we should get at least some more statement from the EBU before the live show, I would assume, which starts in less than 2 hours. And there will be other things potentially happen between now and then as well. Just a lot of former artists speak out, or even the ones that didn't qualify. Like I know Besa from Albania spoke out that thinks this is BS that he was disqualified. Lots of former artists. I know Jendrik from Germany spoke out. Now, this is, of course, especially significant because if you have a German speaking up, because they're getting so much backlash, because, from World War II and all that stuff. So German, there's like a historical responsibility when it comes to Israel. So speaking out as a German, you immediately get labeled, a certain word. So that's quite significant to me as well. Oh, thank you again so much for the super chat here. What do you guys see the future of Eurovision going to be? Maybe we need a new head of the Eurovision since clearly Martin hasn't handled the contest good. So I don't know. I mean, I will say I will wait until this contest is over. And the discussion needs to start first thing Monday morning. What happened? Why did it happen? How it could be prevented? Who was responsible? And then hold those responsible accountable. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to just be like, fire Martin Osterdahl, but he is certainly the head of all of this. And usually the head of the organization also bears responsibility. So, but I will wait until I have more information. My issue is, and I'm going back to that, I sound like a broken record, the lack of communication, which is, Ironically, the EBU, European Broadcasting Union, that should be their forte. But they've always been, especially over the last few years, the less we communicate, the better. And that's their mindset. And sometimes that can be true. Next time you don't want to over communicate and open more doors of, criticism. But the lack of this is just ridiculous. It is just, it's just insanity to me. So that is where I fall here. Now, in terms of the future of the contest, some people saying this is the last contest and all that stuff. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This contest that we love so much is bigger than Martin Osterdahl or all the people currently in the reference group. This is a contest that has been around for almost 70 years now. So I have no doubt in my mind it will survive this. However, there could be short-term consequences. I always think back of 1969, even though it was different then because we had a four-way tie as the winner. And the next year, so many countries withdrew. We had 10 or 11 countries taking part. I could see withdrawal happens if nothing is going to change. So if they're just going to leave things as they are, yes, I could see countries like, this is not cool. I don't want to be part of this. So we have to wait and see, but I wouldn't go as far as saying this is the end of the contest. So it's okay. It's okay to be upset right now. I want to be like, this is bullshit. I'm going to quit in Eurovision. ESC United is over. Bye. I actually I wanted to cancel this live stream initially. I'm like, you know what? This is stupid too. Because it's just like, I always think we are the contest. And for years now, it felt like we've been pushed to the side. And fortunately, in some ways, I wouldn't call it a blessing because it's not, but at least the silver lining in this is we can speak out. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joanna, for that super chat. Even if you don't have a question, the support is greatly appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And finally, maybe we can have our voices heard because until recently, we were just, not treated well. And I talked about it before in last year's live stream. Was it the one before? I was kind of, I don't want to use the word harassed because it has so much powerful information, but I was certainly recorded by the EBU without my permission as well. Now, I was in the press center, so maybe a little different. You can make a case that is a public thing, but I was recorded to make sure that I'm not breaking any rules as the fan media and all of that stuff, which I didn't. I never do. And if I do, it's certainly something minor that I wasn't even aware of, because I change the rule every time, every 2 minutes. So I know that this happens. And I said before, there are delegation members who break the rules all the time. And a lot of them are minor. Some of them are a little bit more major, but it has never resulted in a disqualification. Now, in this case, it is the artist that is being accused. Maybe makes it a little different. But making that, saying that this has never happened, it happens all the time. I have seen lots of delegations doing stuff that they were not supposed to. And maybe some of them lost their accreditation, maybe, but it did not impact the entire delegation because this is unfair towards everyone on the team as well. I just would like to know why the EBU felt the need to go to those dramatic measures. I know it won't change anything, but a petition asking for Joost to be reinstated has already surpassed 100,000 signatures. I know it feels, it's nice feeling like united in this. No pun intended about ESC United or United by Music. But I get it. It feels like we need each other's support a little bit here now, right? I'm so glad that I'm actually not in the press center this time around, just because the energy there is terrible. And I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars just to travel to the contest for that. I'm curious. We all know that the Netherlands no longer in the running, that the betting odds, I'm curious how they have changed, if at all. If the top 2 or 3 are somewhat similar, Croatia still at 43% winning. Israel shot up after the semi-2 to 22%, and Switzerland to 14%. France still sitting in 4th place with a huge gap, though, and Ireland also in 5th with 4%. And currently dropping is a little bit. Greece dropped a little bit, but still in 10th. And then Serbia, unfortunately, it's the new last place. So yeah, that is where we're at. So I don't think much has changed because I think the Netherlands at that point was only at like 4% or so, 3. I don't remember where they were when they were disqualified. So it was not like a huge amount of, percentages to be spread out. The good news is like bigger, like was it Betfair? Because they usually, like, if someone leaves, like they usually would keep the money according to their rules, but due to the unique circumstances, they'll make an exception and return the money to everyone that put money down on the Netherlands, which is such a relief for those individuals. Yeah, so just kind of curious to see how this will impact all of this. Of course, there's a whole lot else going on. We could talk about, and we can't talk about the Netherlands until the show starts. Of course, we have still 25 other countries in the running, and they all rehearsed earlier. I did watch the rehearsal for the most part, with a few breaks in between. No, I watched all the performances at least. I didn't pay attention to the interval acts as much because then I was doing stuff. But that was, a really awkward show because 3 individuals missed the flag parade, and those were Ireland, Switzerland, and Greece. According to Bambie Thug, there was another incident that happened right before the flag parade that was disturbing, and that's why they decided not to go on, and a few artists didn't go on either. And ultimately, Bambie Thug didn't even show up to rehearse for that show. So they used a snippet from the semifinal performance, I believe. So as a viewer, you wouldn't have known that Bambie Thug wasn't there. So, but yeah, we do know that they did not rehearse tonight, this afternoon. But we're hearing that Bambie Thug will be there tonight. There's some rumors that they will withdraw, but from what I'm hearing, that it is actually going to happen because there is a contract that they have signed that you cannot just immediately, just withdraw. So I'm checking here one more time. A lot of people, a lot of the former artists now in solidarity a little bit with, I saw Tom Dice from Belgium 2010 post something. Then Gustav from last year Belgium also posted something. So I'm not going to read them all, but there's a whole lot of more unity behind, us sticking to the community sticking together, which is a nice sentiment here for sure. Because, it has never happened before. So, yeah, let me see here. I think, and I may give me 1 second here, you all. I do have a thank you. Philip is saying thank you and your team, and credit to the fan media community. I thoroughly enjoy and appreciate your work. Never be silenced. Keep up the great work. That's how I feel. So thank you for that. If I were to get silenced, you'll be the first to know. And again, I'm not being like unfair here. I don't think I've been saying, once the EBU gives us a little bit more information, maybe we can at least hear the EBU side, why they felt so strongly to not accept the terms of Avrotos, the options, apology, all of that stuff, conversation, and just decided, no, gotta go. I don't know why these conversations were necessary in the first place if none of this satisfied their needs. I mean, a full apology, a full conversation, a meeting, and all of that stuff. What else are they supposed to do? Blood? it's so they kind of knew that they were not going to let the Netherlands in, apparently. So so the conversation seemed to be unnecessary at that point, since a decision apparently already had been made. So yeah, it's just what it is. Hold on 1 second. I got to refresh my screen here real quick because people are saying I don't see the super chats in my thing right now here, but I'll find them. And forgive me if I don't see them all. It's just my screen is moving so fast. If you can, one of the mods, if I miss a super chat, if you want to repost them for me, like there's a comment or so, let me know. Okay, I found another one here thank you, Pirate Crack. Thank you so much. We know fudge, all rumor and randomness. Wait for facts, spreading crap, results in crap. Enjoy the show, however it turns out. Yeah, I mean, I think people are love, but I gotta wait for some more information. But if the EBU doesn't give us anything, it is fair to feel a certain way because, like, based on the information that we have available, I understand why people are outraged and upset about this. EBU, give us something that we can understand your side as well. That's all I am saying. And as long as we don't have that, I can really, fault people. Dearest team, I have nothing more to say than a big hug to all of you in these challenging times. Former beloved contest. Don't say that. thank you for your coverage from you and the team. I know I'm always want to just say, like, we're gonna laugh about this in a year from now, but they will now laughing. It'll be still angry because it's not a laughing matters. Joost's dream was to be on the stage, and all of that stuff, and he was technically because he was in the semis, but having it ripped away like that, it just really sucks. The BBU's report, BBU, BBC is reporting that the Dutch entry has been disqualified, another one has withdrawn from rehearsals, and the third has broken rules with an onstage speech calling for peace. And that one, of course, they're referring to is France. Wow, it's crazy. Breaking the rules, calling for peace. It didn't even say who or what, but just saying peace. I'm like, how dare you? I think we could never, ever have Love, Love, Peace, Peace play again, huh? Because it has the word peace in it. So, yeah, it is a little crazy. So, it's unfortunate. So, as I'm talking, I'll go back to my refresh screen and see if any other crazy news are out. I see rumors about this. I don't like those rumors that I'm reading, though, so I don't want to share them right now. Yeah, so there's some rumors I see here, but I don't want to put them out there yet on a stream either, because if true, then that would be bad. Like that would be really awkward. EBU's at fault. We should have control our own rumors. Rumors are not fact. Without true facts, peace, period. So yeah, that's a problem. If you don't give us anything, it's just people start talking. It just, you understand? And just giving the trust me bro approach, I don't think the EBU has the reputation to pull that off. So yeah. So any questions then at ESC United? Of course, going back to the show I was talking about earlier show, we talked about the 3 individuals not doing the dress rehearsal. Excuse me, the flag parade, one person not doing actual rehearsal. And then there was a lot of vocal discontent by the audience as well. This time around, Israel, certainly they used the anti-booing technology again, but it lost the battle on that ground because you could hear the boos throughout the entire song at all times. So that stood out to me. Also, what stood out to me is Martin Österdahl. Usually how you go to before the results come in for the juries and the televote, the hosts are like, and our Martin Österdahl is now giving us confirming that the votes are correct. Are they correct? And then he says, you're good to go. They didn't do that at all this run through. They just completely skipped it. And for some reason, I have a feeling they're going to skip that tonight as well, because it's just going to be an awkward situation, especially. I wonder what they're going to do with the Interval Act, Linda Woodruff singing about, Martin Osterdahl and all of that stuff, celebrating the executive supervisor. I feel like it's like, ugh, that didn't age well. But also, one thing we need to take into account is this is a fan community, and there's the average person out there as well. So they will not know too much about them. Maybe hear a little bit in the news, but it's not like as dramatic from what we are hearing. Wow, thank you, Sean. Wow, thank you so much. The DQ came out at what, 3 a.m. your time, and you're still live blogging after recording rehearsing video for that. You're the man. Well, here's the thing. If you want to get all the logistics, so I don't know what time until rehearse to my local time, but I went to bed around 8 p.m. yesterday on a Friday night. That's my life, but that'll change tomorrow, hopefully. After tonight, I'm free again. I didn't fall asleep right away. So maybe at 10 o'clock, I finally fell asleep local time, and I got up like at 2. So I got like 4 hours of sleep in, which for one night, I can do. For one night, I can do. So I got up like at 2:30 in the morning. I didn't even get up. That was me in the morning. Phone, news. And then I was up. That was like my morning, in case you were wondering. So, but thank you so much. So that is what I think the things that stood out for me during the first show. We talked about Slimane, doing his messages of peace. It also was at the moment because I'm really nervous for him for France, because his voice is really strained, and I'm hoping he can hit those notes, because I think he overdid it the last few days, and it doesn't sound as good. He still sounds wonderful, don't get me wrong, but certainly those really dramatic moments, it's rough. It's rough, and it breaks my heart. Oh, thank you so much, Queen of Hearts. The right to be yourself, to speak from the heart, is slowly being torn away. However, music should have the power to heal, not wound further. Love your Eurovision content. Thank you for your dedication. Uh, you are welcome, especially this year, because I tweeted about it as well. I said, I'm so sad that I'm not in Malmo 2 weeks ago. And now I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not in Malmo this year. I don't know if I could have taken it, my old little heart. Thank you so much. Yep, control. Well, that one we had already. I know I popped it up again. Thank you so much for the super chat, though. So, if you want to also talk about something else, we can do that. Do that. I sound so funny when I said that. Let me see here. Oh no. Oh no, this is okay. It's the same rumor that let me just make sure who the source is, just to make sure. I saw it from a few people that I trust. What they're saying is I cannot confirm this, that Karen, the song, I'm not even going to say the name, the songwriter of the Israeli entry filed the complaint. That was apparently being insinuated by the Dutch broadcaster. Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. But everyone now on social media is saying that. So just so you know, that's out there. But I caution to believe that, because it could be also just an attempt, again, to bring Israel into this scenario. And I don't necessarily want to do that unless it's truly correct. And if it is, then by all means, then we can talk about it. But I'm always very careful about that. You missed my super chat earlier. Oh, I did. I'm so sorry. They just move so fast. Oh my God, my chat is just exploding here. I see as many as possible. You're right. We got that one. I'm going for them all here right now. For some reason, I hope I have them all. If I don't, please let me know. Please let me know. So if you repost your question to me, then I will try as well. And mods, help me out if I miss something. I do apologize. It's just a lot looking at this and watching to make sure my dog's not eating all my cables. He chews for one of my chargers, my laptop chargers. That bitch. He's really not a bitch because he's a male dog, but for today he's a bitch. So where was I? Oh yes, I was checking the news and see if we have any updates. For a change subject, any news on Petra's well-being? I heard she's having back pain. Yes. Well, not that many news, not like they put it out there for everyone to hear, but she's having back pain. And so during the voting sequence, so when we had the jury's vote, she was gone for the most part. Like for like 20 minutes, she just had to sit down. So Edward Sillen, who is like the script writer of Eurovision, this one, the one before as well, and he was for all 3 Eurovisions in Sweden, he took over. So we had a very hairy Petra on stage for a little while. I love him. He's such a sweet, nice guy. And one thing I will say, I feel so bad. He put so much passion into Eurovision, all of his projects. The fact that that is happening on his clock, for the lack of a better term, breaks my heart. He's a good guy, and it sucks him putting so much effort in. It's all falling apart because those things are out of his control, of course, because he was signed on way before all this drama occurred. So, but yeah, so she sat down, but then she came back at some point. So I'm sure she's gonna rest now, and then hopefully she can do the rest later on. But yeah, so that's the last thing I have as an update in terms of Petra's health situation. So hopefully it'll be all right. And in case you wanted to know, the fake jury winner of the 3rd show was Estonia, which is funny because Estonia won the fake jury, not the fake, they won the jury as well, but they won the fake overall results, Estonia. But then as the winning song, they played Austria. I'm like, it's always funny. I mean, I know why they did it because they had the stand-ins there kind of thing for it, So, but it's always funny. And here's Estonia, we will rave. I'm like, as a Eurovision fan, I don't appreciate the switch up. So we still have about an hour and a half before the show starts. And I don't know if any updates or changes are going to happen. I mean, change is not going to happen here. It's too late for that. But certainly updates or comments, official ones, that remains to be seen. I'm keep checking here. Nope. If you see something new breaking as well, by the way, let me know. Did you think the reason for the DQ might not have been action itself, but the involvement of the Swedish police? No, not necessarily. I mean, the Swedish when somebody calls the police, you could call them for no reason inaccurately. Do you know what I mean? I could just call, hey, this person did something to me. The police has to come to investigate. You know, that's kind of their job. And then they make the decision. They pass it on to the prosecutor, if you will, and they make a decision whether or not to charge Joost for anything. If it warrants anything, we will go from that. But we don't know who it was, and it's sometimes, you know, a thing as protecting the victim. You know, we don't know exactly what happened. The EBU specifically said it had nothing to do with delegation. That's why I'm starting to think it had nothing to do with the songwriter, as some people are claiming the rumors. It's just, I don't trust anything at this point. Unless it comes from a proper broadcaster, I feel a little bit more confident. Do you think Italy will do well tonight? Italy will be in the top 10. Absolutely. Some people thought it would win. Right now, I don't think it's going to be a winning situation. But Italy will continue its great top 10 run at the contest, which has been going on since 2017, right? They didn't make top 10 in 2016, but 17, 18, 21, yeah. So you keep running through that because you're sending good songs every single year. Sick and tired of it. I'm not. Don't stop. But it's just me. Happy jealousy. Happy jealousy. So I'm blending more into the. Yeah, I forgot that I was wearing blue today. I just put on a shirt. I'm like, I don't have anything to wear because I've been doing this now for 2 weeks, and I'm like, oh man, I need to do laundry desperately. Oh man, it's embarrassing. So that's going to happen tonight probably. Actually, I have to. So that's one of the good things that Eurovision is over. You know, I can finally wash my clothes again. What is the destiny of dance now that Sliman's vocals are not the best? Well, hold your horses, as Lithuania 2014 said. Slimani can still pull it off. Plus, I still think he's going to do really well. And even, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. If he pulls it off, we're good. What happened in the jury show wasn't that bad. Yes, he cracked a little bit during that a cappella part, but it added more vulnerability to it. And I don't think that it's going to be that bad. The judge is going to be like, oh, well, this is now a shit song, so let me put it down. I compared it yesterday to the Lorraine Snowflake gate that happened in 2012 when she, during the jury shows, swallowed a snowflake and coughed for a second, like, ooh, and then she continued singing. You're like, oh my God, she coughed. Oh my God, she's not going to win now. Is she going to be in the top 10? So yeah, I would not read too much into it. I always said, if, you know, I didn't think Joost would qualify based on televote, but since he did, I said, if he were to make it, he's going to get good amount of jury points. So he will not, I don't think he's going to challenge the left side of the scoreboard, but I could easily see him being in the top 20, which I know I know the bar is a little low, but that's a great result for Latvia, considering, you know, they haven't been in the final since 2016. So yeah, that's certainly what I think right now. I didn't get to do my predictions this time around. Who will gain most from the Netherlands disqualification? My other question was whether the EBU can rebuild its relationship with the fans. So, thank you, either. No, I apologize again if I missed it. You didn't have to do another super chat, but I appreciate it. I'm drinking milk, by the way, because I'm also out of juice. I need to drink it fast because it's getting warm quickly. Who will gain? My first question is, I mean, it's tough. The Netherlands and Finland have a little bit of an overlap in terms of 90s novelty retro feel, right? So you can make a case Finland may benefit from it. But I don't think it's all that black and white. I don't think people just vote like, okay, this ballot's going to benefit, that kind of thing. I think it's a whole lot more complicated than that. But if you were to ask me, I would have to say Finland. The same for me. For instance, 2021. You remember people compared Finland and Italy? Like, well, they're going to cancel each other out. They can only like one. I'm like, no. People like myself. I love Italy. Italy's in almost every single year in my top 10. That year, I did not like the Italian song, the year they won. So if I like your song, you won't win. But if I don't like it, you win. So I didn't care for the Italian song, but I loved Finland. And that's just how it goes. Like, if Finland would have been disqualified in 21, I would have not voted for Italy. And I think it's a lot more complicated than that. So that's how I feel. In terms of rebuilding the trust with fans, an overhaul is needed. And here's the thing. I'm going to say something controversial. I don't think the EBU is too worried about rebuilding its relationship with the fans. It's about where the money comes in, and the people that have the most say and power are the broadcasters. And the bigger the broadcaster, the more power they have. Once the BBC or NDR starts complaining about certain things, that's when things happen. The EBU, for instance, did not want to disqualify Russia in 2022. They released a statement the day prior, I believe, saying, we need to believe in freedom of press and we are apolitical, blah, blah, blah stuff. But then the big broadcasters were like, no. If they're there, we won't be. And sure enough, the EBU kicked them out the next day, which was the right thing to do. But they didn't do it because of their values. They did it because the pressure was there. Because you don't have those broadcasters in Eurovision, there is no Eurovision. So that is certainly, the issue here. So if they want to rebuild, but it's more than just the fans, like us online diehard fans. I think it's more like they need to fix the reputation of the contest. And that requires some overhaul, for sure. And what that means, I don't know. That is a big discussion of that, but they need to change something, for sure. So that's how I feel about it. I agree, and I think the EB will double down against fans if there's a path for more money. That's basically what it is. This has changed so much over the last few years. So what I'm doing now, I mean, online media is great. It's a great alternative, but it's nothing like the same as being there. Thankfully, I have my team there right now to take care of stuff. Which reminds me, I told them I would check frequently on their messages, and I haven't done that once since we started talking. Please tell me that they didn't message me. Oh, they messaged me. Carrier also pulls out as the spokesperson. I've decided not to participate as the spokesperson for the Finnish jury in tonight's Eurovision finale. Giving out the points tonight does not feel right, he is saying. Jeez. Okay. That's the second one that has pulled out. The two big names from last year, Alessandra and Carrier, pulled out. So that is certainly, I want to say, so it's not even surprising anymore, right? It is. Man, but the thing is that, I mean, I appreciate them, standing their ground. And if I have certain beliefs and I want to follow them, I will follow them. I don't necessarily think it's going to make a huge difference because it's a spokespeople that's going to have somebody else stand in for them and give the points, But it is important for people to speak out. So let me check again other news here. Nope, Karya's still talking about Karya's. And I know there are other rumors out there, and I don't usually. There's so many of them. I don't want to bring them all up. Okay. Any questions at ESC United? Who are you going to vote? I don't know if I should tell people because I always feel like there's too much bias. I voted for the first time today in 23 years. For the first time, I voted. I didn't vote in the semis, and I didn't vote because we didn't have. First of all, I started doing. I've been to Eurovision before several times, but I haven't started doing press in 2013. So I've been to every Eurovision. So I was locally. I couldn't vote. And the rest of the world just started last year. I didn't vote last year because I was local and all that stuff. This year I voted just like an hour ago or so. And it was fun. And then the artist that I give the most votes to, what I'll tell you is I did 10 votes, 5 votes, 5 votes. That's how I did my vote. I don't want to say it because, I don't want people to think like I disrespect what I dislike because I want to give more, but voting is expensive. That's why I don't vote. I had to pay like almost 20 euros to vote. That's ridiculous. Who has that kind of money? So, but I'm a cheapskate, I love because I'm not sure if any Germans are in the chat. So I can say it. I'm, born and raised in Germany. Um, we are frugal people, right? We are looking at the money like, I'm not going to pay for that. Our theme parks are affordable because no one is willing to go to a theme park unless, it's affordable. But the Dutch are getting all the reputation of being the cheap ones, like, oh, the Dutch, they're so cheap. I'm like, they're not that cheap. Germans are probably worse, but yeah, let the Dutch keep that reputation. I find that always funny. So, but low key, I think Germans are actually the cheap ones. And Germans, don't lie. I'm right. I'm right. A little quiz for you. When were the last time Baltic countries in the final together? 2015, right? Or was it 16? 15, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's 2015. Bambi update? Somebody put a Bambi update. Let me read that for you. Over the last few days, I have raised multiple complaints to the EBU regarding instances I have experienced this week. Earlier today, they confirmed to my delegation in front of others that Khan's commentator had broken the rules of conduct during the Eurovision semifinal 1. I have been patiently waiting to hear what the action is set by taken by the EBU following this rule break. I have since seen statements by the EBU General Noel Curran, which contradicts this earlier confirmation. I'm still waiting for an official update from the EBU. So she's calling them out. So, in case you're wondering, there was like this very terrible comment that they made during the broadcast about Bambi. I don't have the exact wording in front of me, so I don't want to just paraphrase it. And they blacked out the screen or something like that. So, let me see. What else is out there? Some is Portugal has an update. No, that's still Bambi. Oh, I don't know. My Alexa just reacted when I said something. Did I say anything similar to that? I don't see any other notes here right now, but as they're coming up, I'll let you know. So, Hendrik Franz, as a German, you would think that I knew how to pronounce. Oh God, where did that comment go? Like Dutch names on being booed by Eurovision fans. They don't boo. They're not like that. Yeah, they do. Spanish surprised me negatively. Our delegation tends to speak up when stuff happens, but I think hosting Junior has a lot to do with their silence this time. Fans are mad about it. Well, they did, to be fair, they did speak up once about the incident that yesterday to the EBU and that their reporter should not be harassed and intimidated. And that's not in the spirit of freedom of press, which the EBU continues to stand behind, that they have that. So I don't know. That's more than some other broadcasters are doing. They're confiscating Dutch flags, saying justice for Joost. Doesn't surprise me. They will not allow anything. I mean, they don't allow Palestinian flags, any political flags. I'm hearing somebody said, one person I know, Tim Vision, if you know him, he said that they took away the non-binary flag as well because it's not a country flag, which then is ironic that the pride flag is allowed because, I don't want them to take the pride flag away. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying it's, again, double standard. So, yeah, that is basically, it's just a lot. And honestly, I appreciate everyone that is willing to speak out, what broadcaster, what artist, whoever they are. Go for it. But please don't be mad at people that don't, only because some people just, it's mental health as well. And some people are like, let me wait until I know everything. And that is a fair thing to say, because it's just, not information. So applaud them, those who don't speak up, but don't criticize people that don't. It's rough sometimes, especially I said it before, Germans, because when a German speaks out, it's a big deal because the connection, what happened during the Holocaust. Germans have a historical responsibility to be very supportive of Israel and Jewish people. It's understandable, but they get so much backlash if anything is said about that. So it is certainly a difficult thing to do. So that's what I'm saying. So people saying there's an update about Kerry. Yeah, I did speak out about that already, that he is not going to announce the points. Thank you, though, for letting me know, even though I've talked about it already. People come and leave in the chat, so I totally understand that. So yeah, but we do know Kaya said that they are not going. They. See, I'm still working. That's a he now. That he's not going to actually. He withdrew as a spokesperson, kind of what they did in Norway as well. So that's where we are at. Do you think artists might make some form of onstage protest during their performance? And so that is the question. I do know that the producers, the EBU, are like right behind the delegation right this moment, and the artist. If you say one thing and you just look the wrong way, we're gonna fine your ass to the ground, kind of thing. I'm paraphrasing here right now, of course. I'm making this up, but I do know that they're being strictly told don't do anything. Now, will they do something? Probably. I do not see a universe where we can make it through these 4 hours of Eurovision without some incident, whether it's from the spokespeople, from the artists, the fans, whoever. So it's just what it is. And I prefer not to have them completely censored because freedom of speech, right? Freedom of press. I understand that they have to run a show and you kind of make it like too political, but I think this is a very unique situation. They have to deal with. They cannot just make a decision like that and then expect everyone to shut up about it. It's just getting a little crazy. You did not respond to my donation. I'm sorry. Thank you for reposting it. Did I ask for something I should not? If I did, I'm sorry. Have a great. No, I missed it. I just have so many things to do here at one time, and after a minute, they pop away from my screen as well. So that's why I don't see them. So it's nothing intentional. So please forgive me. Will the audience be muted out? So they will be muted out during, they turn the audience microphones off during the Israeli performance and probably now during Martin Osterdahl's announcements. So you cannot hear all the boos. And then they'll add the anti-booing, like the cheer noises to it. That kind of stuff. So that's usually what they're doing. They want to have cheers, for all the other artists, but they don't want that to happen. So yeah. And back to the news. I know there's going to be more updates throughout the next hour or so. Oh, I know people are talking about the whole Israeli embassy thing, where all the Israeli embassy thing putting out notices in each country to vote for Israel, which is kind of like inappropriate, right? That should not how competition should work. People are upset about that as well. So it's just a big mess. Hey, Matthew, thank you so much. Amadeus needs a job. New EBU executive director. Who's Amadeus? But if it's Amadeus, let's have Amadeus. I'll take the job. No, I would never want to have that job, ever. I feel like when you're in a position like that for the contest, it takes the joy away from the contest. So I'd rather do this. I'd rather do this and talk silly stuff. Have you seen Jendrik's Germany 21 video regarding the anti-booing system? Yes, that's what I kind of briefly mentioned earlier. Jendrik said he doesn't think it's a good idea and it's fair to have an anti-booing technology. And it's a big deal, again, coming from a German because, historical context there. So it's always, a tough thing. EBU acknowledging Khan broke the rules and is yet willing to do nothing about it says it all. There seems to be, now the director says there were no rules breaking. I said earlier, yes, there were. There were. We all saw it. And Bambie confirmed that that's what they told them as well. So, by the way, did you notice how good I am with the pronouns? Can I get a round of applause? I'm really trying hard. But now I'm calling everyone they. So now I'm offending everybody else. I'm trying. Lorraine said she isn't gonna hand over the trophy if Eden wins. She did say that? Yeah, oh wow. Yeah, I mean, see, Lorraine, I will defend her until my dying breath. She is a wonderful, wonderful person. Like, she means so well, and she's a kind-hearted individual. For like 10 minutes after she performed, she just kept saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." It was so sweet. She's just, I will defend her. Even I was a cha-cha-cha person. It was never about Lorraine, though, because I'm obsessed with her and I wish her nothing but the best. And if she makes a decision, I think it's not, I don't blame her at all. So she is my queen. And if you attack her, you have to go through me first. And my little 15-pound dog. He'll cut you. Lorraine said told the producer she will break the protocols and cast a certain country is winning. Yes. Well, Lorraine also said last year, not that she was necessarily the deciding reason, but she also went up to the producers and said, "You cannot do this announcement thing where we're all standing on stage like that. Like, this is the X Factor. This is cruel to these artists representing their countries. I've done it before. I'm okay. I'm experienced. But these 16 or 20-year-old folks who have never done this before and how much pressure that is, don't do that to them." So she speaks out when she sees injustice or something that just doesn't feel right to her. And she's so kind and calm about it. I wish I want to be her. People asking they want to see Gaston. You will probably in a little bit when he wakes up, but he's sleeping right now. And if I wake him up now, he'll just bark and wants to play. So don't you worry, we'll see him soon. But I don't want to wake him right now. Official Eurovision channel plays Israel ad to vote for Eden. How is that allowed? So Marcus, start watching some of my videos, not just for promotional purpose. Watch my videos right now. Give me some views. Now, it's really like you cannot control what's playing on YouTube. I get Israeli ads in front of my videos as well. The ads that are being played on YouTube, I have zero control over. And in many ways, that's the good thing, because that way they cannot buy our support. You know what I mean? Like, Israel's going to, or in this case, or like any company, Coca-Cola gives me money, so they can influence my content or whatever. So in many ways, that's good. But in this case, of course, it's maybe not good. And I will say, whether it's Israel or Malta a few years ago, they did the same thing. I don't want those kind of things in front of my videos. So, but yeah, it's no control. And that's one thing I will not blame Eurovision for. That's nothing they can do about it. Plenty of other things we can criticize them for, but not this. Has anyone specialized with Israeli seemingly has anyone speculated with Israel seemingly getting this preferential treatment? Has anyone to do with their primary sponsor, Moroccan Oil, as an Israeli company, or is that a moot point? Next question. How's the team there? Roy, Gabe, Emma. I don't know. Anyone else? Philip? They're all good. Roy, Gabe, Emma, Philip, Melanie, David. They're all there. I want to say they're having fun, but today, the last couple of days, no one really had fun. It's all about, this place is burning down. But, considering the circumstances, they're having fun. Of course, Melanie's been avoiding all the press because she doesn't want to talk to press because, she's Dutch and everybody wants to know, what do you think, Dutch woman? And then to Roy as well. I'm not sure if Roy has talked to anyone. So it's a little much. So, the Voters has taken legal actions against the EBU. Joost is broken, according to. I can only imagine what he must feel like. Again, based on the information that we have available, if EBU has more to provide, feel free to send it our way. But based on what we have right now, I don't blame him, because it seems like really it was fair to say this was very disproportionate. Very disproportionate. So, it sucks. But if Avrotos is even looking for legal actions, if that's accurate, I haven't seen anything yet officially, but if that's accurate, it's going to make for an interesting year. Very interesting year. Do you know what I miss? Jan Olason, that handsome devil. I know. I mean, things could have happened under his watch as well. I'm not saying that nothing like this would have happened under his watch, but, it just makes me now nostalgic and all of that. It just... So, it's now 7:42, 52, and so we have a little bit more than an hour before the show starts. It gives us a few more minutes to talk and discuss this. Any questions again at ESC United, or you have any updates as well, so I can see them earlier. And then we can go from there. Did you know that Denmark singing a tribute to Jon Ola Sand? I was like, now I get it. Gosh, that's clever now. But then she had to sing it, Sand, not sand. It's like Jan Ola Sand. Oh, man. So, do you think Angelina's outfit changes for the jury show was a better choice? Yes. And I'm trying to remember. She was wearing. Yeah, so she switched her outfits already yesterday to the darker outfit, not the one with the rosy look, because that one, even though it's brighter, it actually blended in more with the backdrop. Usually black is not a good idea for me for a lead singer if you have dancers, but in her case, it works. They stand out better wearing black, and with her glittery feel to it, it makes her stand out from the backup dancers as well. So I think it was the right choice. And I think with that busy backdrop, there's only so many colors you can use without looking at either blending in or a mismatch. You couldn't wear yellow. You know what I mean? It would or orange. That would not work at all. So I know that I have not done. I'm getting all the dings here right now, so forgive me. There's an arrest. The arrests made outside the stadium right now. Somebody is doing live TikToks. Let me ask. Are protesters being arrested? So there are protesters being arrested right now as well, which doesn't come as a big surprise to me, because oftentimes protesters being arrested, if it's lawfully or not, sometimes protesters break the rules and the law, or what's going on, I don't know, but it's not often the greatest look. So, but yeah, that's just letting you know that's what's happening right now. I was gonna say something. Oh, we didn't have, with everything that's been going on over the past 24 to 36 hours, we haven't had no chance to do our team predictions, unfortunately. So, I will give you at least my prediction of who I think will win the Eurovision Song Contest 2024 based on what I'm seeing and hearing. I think I will be going to Zagreb next year because I predict Croatia will win the contest. I don't think Israel will win. I had France as a potential dark horse. I no longer think that's going to happen. And the only other one I could see potentially is Switzerland. I think the betting odds are right on those countries. But I still think this will be Croatia. So, and that would be a wonderful outcome. So, but we will see, but I'm just telling you, since I don't have a whole ranking in front of me, who will come second and third. I will say that at this point, I will say Switzerland comes second and France comes third. Or Israel will be in the top 5, I think. But I'm putting them fourth right now. I know there's a lot of concern about these leaked Italian semifinal votes, but there is so much context missing with these votes. I would be very, very careful to read too much into this. Number one, both RAI and EBU confirmed that they are incomplete. Number two, one of the things that we did not take into consideration is it's very possible that a lot of people voted for Italy because Italy performed right before Israel, right? So a lot of Italians may have thought that this is the number to call to vote for Angelina. And every country does it, but Italians are known for voting for their own song or trying in the grand final. Like what's like over 20% every year try to vote for Italy. So we don't know for sure. So I do not read too much into it. I know there is an effort by Israel with all the ads and all the campaigning that's going on to get all of the votes, but I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to. So that's just my thinking. Okay, and let me do another refresh here. See if we're still having a Eurovision or if it's going to be canceled for the next few minutes. No, I think we're good for now. Okay, so the Portuguese RTP news channel is saying that RTP participated in the emergency meeting and that they witnessed harassment by the Israeli delegation towards other delegations. that's what is happening with the Portuguese delegations, in case some people are wondering. So I'm giving you an update on that as well. So it's not just the the Irish delegation that's speaking out, the Portuguese one. So there is more. And I don't know. I don't know. See you in Zagreb next year, Matt, and bring Gaston with you. I'll dox it. Well, when Croatia wins, I'm putting out in the universe. I will actually stay for longer because I've never been to the Baltics. I keep saying Baltics and then say Balkan. I'm American. I'm stupid. Balkans. And I really want to travel through that area anyway. So I would spend a week in Croatia after Eurovision just to go to Split and Dubrovnik and see some of the really cool things along there. And then we would probably travel for some of the other countries for a week. So I, just for selfish reasons, put the stupid song contest aside. I want to go to Croatia. The fact that you have one of the best songs this year, I'm like, it's just icing on the cake. So yeah, but I would love it. So my fingers, toes, and eyes are crossed. If Joost Klein comes out clean after this situation, the EBU have grant him a chance to compete again next year in 25. Well, that would not be up to the EBU. That the broadcaster of Rotos, I'm pretty sure, would. At this point, Rotos said you have an open invitation, Joost. At this point, if he wants to come back next year. The EBU cannot make that decision. The EBU can say, no, we don't want him in. He's a criminal, which they won't do probably, especially if he comes out clean in the end. So yeah, you need to talk to the broadcaster, but I have no doubt in my mind that they will let him back in. Not even a tiniest doubt. The question is, would he want, after going so much heartbreak right now, I don't know if I would want to go back. Absolutely not. I say Italy wins. Have predicted that since the song's release, and I think I stick to that. The win will be a close one, though. Stick to your guns. I totally get it. I've been sticking to my guns as well, and my guns were Croatia, but I can see France being the surprise winner. I'm just now with the vocals, not the way it is. I think that the special moment that the song really makes it memorable could fall flat. And that's why I'm now kind of walking away from the France chances for that exact reason. But other than that, that was my choice from the beginning as well. Nothing has changed my mind from that either. I'm just now more convinced it will be Croatia. But Italy has a wonderful song, and I would love for it to win. I'm just not ready to go to Italy yet because we went to Italy in 22, and I went to Italy last year for a cruise. I was in Sicily. I was in Genoa. I was in there's another city I went to. I went to the Italian Riviera basically, and so I want to see something else but Italy. That's the only reason. This has nothing to do with the song. Maybe give my 2-3 years. A gay cruise? No, gay cruise, wrong crowd here. I am just a regular cruise. It was an Italian cruise, though, which I will never use again. It was the worst experience of my life, that part. But it was not that. They can't ban the Netherlands. It's not the group. It's the whole country. Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what the point is, but yeah, no, I agree. I cannot ban the country overall. Although, I mean, countries have been banned before, but not, Bosnia and Herzegovina was banned because they couldn't pay their fees, so it's a little tricky. Will the jury from the Netherlands make a negative statement when they are delegating their points? Well, it's the definition of negative. I almost feel like it's positive, but I know what you mean by that. Yes, I mean, they will try not make them not to. But during the first this dress rehearsal earlier, Nikki, she said basically, "Oh, I didn't realize we are allowed to vote now. I guess I need to read that rule book, huh? We should definitely have a sit down after this Eurovision." So I think she's going to say the same thing today, unless the EBU really, really is going to. But they can only do so much, So yeah, it is something. So, but I do think, going back to the predictions, I can see Universe where Switzerland wins. I think Switzerland has had such a strong reaction in the fan polls, in the audience. It's just a very strong song, and also with a fantastic running order. I cannot afford Switzerland, but it would be wonderful finally having Switzerland win after 36 years. Yeah, I could not be unhappy about that. I can be unhappy about the price. You thought that Sweden is expensive? Mm. Mm. Okay, so we will see. The EBU should always pretend they couldn't connect to the juries like in 22. Well, in 22 was a little different because of all the cheating that was going on. But yeah, it's like, Nikki not there? No, Nikki, okay. Here are your points. Yeah, that could happen, but I don't think it will because that would be like, oh, oi, 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 oi. Don't even put that in my head right now. The repercussions of that. That would be wild. This would be wild. As I'm keep checking the news, we still have about, over 50 minutes before the show starts. But I'm not going to stay on here. I just know we all had to talk this through and cry. Well, I didn't really cry. I mean, I cried internally, but you get my point. Like, console each other. I thought I figured and jump on a little early and finish a little early, I guess, so I can, get my drinks ready and take my dog out for a walk. But I'm going for there's still no update from the EBU. So we'll see. Scroll. No. Do I have any updates from within my team? No. Okay. So we have all of that. And other than that, ask me any other questions at ESC United. What is my favorite ABBA song? So I have a lot of favorite ABBA song, and it changes. If you ask me when I first found out about ABBA, when I was like a child, I remember my mom died when I was really young, but I remember finding all of her cassettes. I even had a cassette player back then. Like those were like probably like early 90s, I think. I was really young, like really, really young. And but I remember playing the greatest hits, whatever it was. And I remember watching TV and they were sitting there bopping their heads in front of a snowman. And I was like, what is that? This is magic. And it was Chiquitita. So as a child, I was obsessed with that song. So so that was my early days. And as I was getting older, I started really appreciating the less known songs, like As Good as New as a Bop. Remember, those who've seen Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, the second movie, they actually put in My Love, My Life. I love that song, the real one. And the real one, yeah, the real one. So those are some of my really big highlights, the ones that you don't even know that much about. But I love so many ABBA songs, so it might change tomorrow. But of the well-known ones, obviously, I like Knowing Me, Knowing You is really cool. Yeah, so many cool songs. I mean, how could I even limit that? So my software is a little slow right now. Hopefully it's not crashing. If I crash, it's because my software gave up on me. It's still working. Okay, never mind. I may lose sound for a second. It happened before. If it does, I will do a reboot. Not a reboot like my computer, just restarting my website and then it fixes it. Who would be your shock song in the top 10? Mine is Georgia, somebody says. Shock. Let me take a look. Oh, I'm looking at the betting odds right now. Shocker. Austria. I'll put Austria in there. I think Austria could go really big with the televote, more than we all think. It's a shock, good enough, but I could see it happening with a huge result there. So that's what I'm picking. Okay, there we go. Do you think Ireland will struggle in the jury? On paper, yes. But we talked about it, Connor and I, yesterday a little bit. And we talked about there is a lot of musicality to that song as well that some jurors may find appealing. I think it's going to be more of a polarizing thing. So, but I can see a lot of, because, the switch between genres, and she sings it really well. They sing it really well during those parts. And I can see that. I don't think Ireland's going to do as bad as some people think. I could see a potential top 10 with Ireland. But I don't know. top 5 may be pushing it. Okay, Marcus, are you mentally prepared for a worst case scenario for tonight voting results? Well, as prepared you can be. Do you know what I mean? I know what you're referring to. Um, so I will be live after this, right? So once the results are in, whether it's whoever wins, I will be live. So we'll talk it through. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, I lived enough life. I can deal with a winner that, but we'll see. But I'm telling myself, yes, I can. Okay. So let's move on here and see if there's any other update, y'all. I keep saying y'all because I lived in the South for so long that stuck with me. That's the only term I still use. It's easy because it's just you all. It's too long. It's 2 syllables. Ain't nobody have time for that. Oh, thank you so much for that super chat. This year is the worst Eurovision in recent history. Glad you didn't spend all that money to be there in that mess. Not worthy. I know. Okay. Well, this is a very nice thing to say. I will say that my decision not to go is partially due to my health. It's like 50 health, but also 50 safety reasons. My family was really nervous of me going. I'm like, they didn't want me to go. I'm like, it's Eurovision. And they're like, please don't. Like, and then looking at it is more like, no, I understand. It's just a thing that I wasn't ready to do. I probably would have pushed myself with health wise, but I knew it was the right decision for me. I still was really depressed that I didn't go. Now I feel less depressed. So it's all good. But yeah. Let's see here. Let me scroll up. So the arena is filling up here, of course. I see people getting into the arena, of course. I haven't been into the arena since 2015. I mean, I've been inside the arena, but not for a live show. I've seen several shows for the press thing, like the first run through, but the actual live show, the last one I experienced was in 2015. And I'm okay with that. I prefer watching it on TV, actually. And I'm not willing to spend that much money on tickets. That's just not right. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of news anymore. It feels like now it has really slowed down. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I don't expect any last minute changes at this point. So I think we can just answer a few questions before we move on to the actual live show. Once again, I will be back afterwards. So I know there will be a lot of talk about happy, sad, in the middle, whatever it may be. Let me know. But for now, do you think someone will pull a stunt on stage? We mentioned that earlier. My guess is yes. Ireland, obviously in contention there. I could see Switzerland. France pulled one earlier. I didn't expect that happening. And yet here we are. So we'll see. We'll see. One thing, besides all that negativity and upset going out, look at these artists, so many of them, how wonderful they are and caring. There seems between so many of these artists so much solidarity. Even those that have been eliminated already, like Luna from Poland, she's been so out there, outspoken, supportive of all the acts in the finals. That warms my heart. And we always tend to look at the bad stuff and all the negativity, but out of all that bad also comes a little bit like, people aren't all as shitty as you think they are. So that kind of stuff makes me very, very, happy and warm and fuzzy on the inside. So let me scroll down here. If there are any other questions, as always, at ESC United, if you want. France only did it so he wouldn't have to sing the difficult part. He would. One thing is true. He probably would have not sang that difficult part, but he didn't have to say these things. Do you know what I mean? He could have just been quiet or just said, sorry, I need to save my voice. He made a deliberate choice to say these things. Now, his English is very broken, so give him also a little slack there, right? So, but no, he didn't have to say these things, even if he wanted to save his voice, to be fair. So I don't want to take any of the credit away from him. Is Belarus eligible for a junior this year and next year's Eurovision? Thoughts? Wait, what? No, they're not, are they? I thought they're not eligible to enter Eurovision. Can they enter junior? Can somebody confirm that? Is that true? I don't pay much attention to junior right now, but that seems odd. I will laugh if some of the countries gives 12 points to Palestine. Because if in case Israel gets them, well, we'll see. We'll see how that's ongoing. I mean, they have to control 37 spokespeople. They can't do that. I know they're all getting their little spiel right now. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. But yeah, there's only so much they can do. Do you think Joost will represent the Netherlands next year? I don't know how to get into the speculation realm when it comes to Joost right now. That poor guy is going through the ringer right now. And right now, I hope he's not coming back next year unless he's mentally ready. Not because I don't want him here, but I think he needs to take a step back from Eurovision. I know Avrotos will let him back in. It comes down to where is he going to be next year mentally, and where that kind of stuff. I'd love to have him back next year, but I'm almost thinking maybe give him a little bit of time. But he may never come back either, because this is like, and people say, no, I'll never come back. I'll never do this again, and they may feel differently in a couple of years, especially if leadership changes. You never know. So we'll see. People are saying that they think they may not go back into Eurovision at all, the Netherlands. We shall see. The Netherlands will raise a lot of SHIT right now. So I will not go as far as saying they're not going to come back, but I understand your hesitation there. If things don't change, I could see it happening. And if I'm not mistaken, the Dutch are the 6th biggest contributor to Eurovision. And right now, as expensive as it is, the EBU does not want to lose them. So we shall see. Hi from South America, said for fans all over the world. South America. Don't know which country. I almost think, the country of South America, because my brain was thinking of Africa. But yeah, I wouldn't call it my neck of the woods because it's only on the different side of the globe, but different hemisphere. But at least that you have America in your name. So hi. Hi. My software does that sometimes. I don't know why. I keep saying it. I will change softwares after this, but it just turns off a microphone. Then I have to reboot the browser. So sorry about that. I have no idea where I left off. I talked so much sense right now. I did such a good job too. Wow, the insight and wisdom I just provided to you is groundbreaking. Absolutely groundbreaking. And I'm so sad that you missed out on that. Oh man. All right, and in a nutshell, I was saying it. I gave a more elaborate answer, but I said that between Italy is basically has the potential to be like a pleaser between juries and televote, and could potentially sneak in as the winner. But I don't know with the current landscape if that's going to happen or not. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what I was saying. I just did say it in a way longer way. So maybe it's good that I got muted. So there are lots of clips that we get from the protests right now. Some quick interviews. I don't have time to share them right now, but there's a lot going on outside the arena right now as well. Because we talked about so much about the Netherlands and that situation that we neglected almost all the protests that are happening all around Malmö and the continent actually for this. Okay. Oh, there's more happening, more drama. No. What is this now? Deleted Instagram. Oh, that was older. Never mind. Just some more negativity coming from certain members. I don't even want to go into that. I'm going through here real quick. Nope. I don't think anything crazy is going on here. Lineup. Nope. Okay. Sorry about that. If you hear anything, let me know as well. But, it's a day. It's a day, I can tell you this much. Oh, man. The head of delegation of France giving the TV version of the speech with subtitles tells me that they were already prepared to do it, even maybe therefore before the contest. Do what? Let me read that again. The HOD of France giving the TV version of the speech with subtitles. Oh, got it. What the speech of Slimani. Got it. Again, slow brain. America, dumb. Do you think the Baltic countries have any chance to win? No. But to do well, yeah. I think, I said before, going through those, Latvia's going to do well, and Latvia's not going to come last. Let's just get that out of the way. The juries will like this one. I'm not saying they're going to be top 10 with the juries. I don't know. But even if that comes 17th or 18th with the juries, that's enough to avoid last place. Lithuania is going to do really well. Potential top 10. Let's add off the scoreboard, I expect. Estonia will be potentially like a Moldova, Trenitul kind of situation. Maybe not as high in the televote, like second place, but pretty high with the televoters, I think. Or maybe more like a Croatia last year, almost comparison. Maybe a little bit lower in the top 10, like 8th, 7th, and pretty low with the juries. But it's not going to completely flop either. So I think all three will do fairly well. Or at least I don't expect any of them to be in the bottom 5. That's what I'm thinking. So that's, of course, you can all come back now in like a few hours and be like, man, you said they're not going to be. I'm like, I'm predicting. My crystal ball's in the shop. I don't know. But that is basically where I fall in, my predictions with and what I've known what juries like. Of course, sometimes they surprise us and they just really don't go behind a jury-friendly song. So yeah, could there be a universe where they just don't get hollow? Sure. But I think they will. Well, people saying United by Music has become a hollow statement, unfortunately. Well, I still stand by the fact that I think it's the best and most appropriate slogan that we've ever had. Only because we're called ESC United and it's free promotion. So never, ever change that EBU. We were there first, right? ESC United before they went with United by Music. So it gives us free promotion. So I'm fine with that. Now, in all things aside, I know what you're saying. It feels a little, awkward right now having that particular theme. But, I don't care. It's United. That's what, you know what? Maybe come up United in a different way. As long as there's the word United in it, I'm cool. Did I unmute again? No way. Somebody said I'm on mute again? No. Okay. I see the bar moving, so I can see my voice is actually happening. Don't fool with me, y'all. Other than that, let me see. It's all about just, people getting ready, the stadium filling up, etc., etc. So we'll see. Who do you think will withdraw from next year's contest? I don't want to do that yet. I don't know. Maybe nobody. Maybe everybody. I don't know. It really comes down to what's going to happen post Eurovision, how this situation will be handled. Are other broadcasters satisfied with the changes implemented or not? Because nobody's going to say, no, I'm not going to return next year without waiting, Okay, we're going to get rid of this person. We're going to make these changes. So that's not going to happen again. There's going to be apology, but whatever it may be. I don't think anyone can predict who's going to withdraw. Sure, you can make the case the Netherlands, but even I wouldn't make that prediction just yet, in my book. Now, there could be some withdrawals unrelated to this, because Eurovision is getting more and more and more and more and more and more and more expensive. So the less wealthy broadcasters, they're struggling. And I'm worried that this is going to be a bigger issue in the future. It certainly prevents other broadcasters and countries to return to the contest. So that upsets me. Yeah, we shall see. So, but I'm not ready to make any predictions in that whatsoever, because it's just too soon. Too soon. Refreshing one more time. Yeah, it's still about protesters being arrested outside. Somebody is saying they were, oh, that was an hour ago, that they were denied entry to Eurovision with the EU flag. We were told that by security it is political and not allowed. Well, at least, they're consistent on that perspective. Thank you so much, Nick Johan, for that. It's kind of ironic how they banned the only song that talks about uniting Europe with that slogan. I know, right? And now they're banning the flag, apparently the EU flag. I mean, they've also banned now the non-binary flag, apparently. I don't know. Everything is political now. Hi from Peru. Sup? 12 points go to the Netherlands. Now Croatia. Well, I think a lot of Dutch will support that decision, I think, from what I'm hearing. So we'll see. But yeah, that is something. Also, as a reminder, I told you before that I'm going to be live after the show. I also will be live tomorrow evening, so we can have a little bit time to digest all the stuff that's happening today and talk it through, look at the jury results, and get a little bit more of an insight what has happened. I know there are a lot of concerns out there right now, a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety, but let's get through this together. I understand our initial reaction is let's just quit Eurovision. Think about how much joy Eurovision usually brings you. And I know it doesn't feel to some like that. Some people are still excited, it's fine. But some people are a little bit down by what's happening right now. We got to fight for this contest. We love it. It's more important than who's in charge. So let's do our part to make it. Oh my God, I sound like Donald Trump. Let's make Eurovision great again. And, but I mean it. I mean it in that sense. Do you know what I mean? We can make it better, but you got to keep speaking out. You got to keep speaking up. So that's what we can do. Do you think Italy being most streamed is significant for televote? I mean, streaming can be misleading. Italians are obsessed with the song. You get a lot of Italian streams. Poland, when you would, like, for instance, if you look at the views of the YouTube clips of the performances, Poland has one of the highest rated, most viewed videos. It's not very, didn't work out in the televote. So it's not necessarily the full thing. So, I can have a story sometimes, but it's not. Matt, our favorite Republican. How dare you call me a Republican? I refuse. So any other questions? We have a few more minutes at ESC United to talk this through. How much do the casuals know that what's going on? I cannot tell. I mean, as said, it's on CNN in America. It's on the news in Germany. Now, the casuals know that he was disqualified. Oh, the Netherlands, Joost, in this case. So a lot of them, not everybody, but a lot of people. Plus, the broadcasters were informed of that as well. So that will be mentioning in the broadcast, most likely. In terms of how it's going to impact or how much people care, the casuals, I cannot speak to that. If you just really watch that show once a year and then there comes the announcer, as of the rules EBU, Netherlands has broken the rules, therefore will not be taking part today. They're like, oh, okay, that's sad. Next song. It's not everyone is necessarily as involved, and you can't even blame them. Certain things that I'm not that involved in, I don't know all of that stuff. People get upset, like, you should know this. I'm like, no, I don't pay attention to this every day. Unlike Eurovision, where I know a lot more about. Thank you so much, Aiden. Do you think that Ireland and maybe other countries at the last minute might refuse to perform in solidarity with Palestine? So, no, I don't think so, because they wouldn't have gone there in the first place at this point. But I do know a lot of people. I don't know. I assume some will speak out. Now they have two things to speak out about. First of all, the Palestine thing, and now the whole Netherlands thing on top of it. So I don't know what they're saying, but I can see it happening. People saying something. The EBU will try under all circumstances trying to prevent that. They will mute people. They will turn off microphones. They turned off Ms. Lemana's microphone for a second, and then I brought it back on. So they will do whatever they can. In their mind, maybe the EBU, if you're giving them a benefit of a doubt, they're really just trying their best to keep this contest as apolitical as humanly possible. It's just the inconsistencies in their approach that is bothersome. Do you know what I mean? If they would have been consistently throughout the whole thing, then maybe they have a case. But since they're not, it makes it a little bit hard to believe. And that is the tricky part. So, yeah. If there are other super chats that I've missed, let me know. I know they're popping up and the chat is moving so fast, and I'm looking at the news. So I'm a busy bee. It's not that I'm ignoring you, so forgive me. And now I'm trying to refresh. Did I do this one? No, that was the one already answered. Okay. If I keep telling me at East United if I missed your super chat, and it's not on purpose. Again, I'm going to burn this software because, after this one, it doesn't tell me when there was a super chat once it's past my screen. Silencing people. That was a good one. Keep a political. Do they not see that? Exactly. It has a little bit of a Streisand effect, right? Where you're trying to prevent them from happening, and therefore you make it more political. And I understand we don't want to hear all about, why I don't like my prime minister. I'm like, no, we get it. Then every song will be political. I understand that there needs to be a line. Most people understand the difference, between thinking about war in general terms and like a specific politician or whatever. And some people will disagree with me when I say this, but I think any contest that is subjective between countries, is inherently political. The voting has been political, but those particular political influences have not been addressed by the EBU, especially when it comes to voting. We're okay with Cyprus giving 12 points to Greece, 12 points to Cyprus, and Azerbaijan, Armenia always putting each other last. It's political. The EBU allows that to happen. Why? You know what I mean? So there are, well, what are we supposed to do? Fair, but, it's still political. So you cannot just run around and point out certain things, and then others you just kind of push under the rug, not rag. So yes, it is more complicated, and just having this like no politics, I'm like, it's a little, naive almost. Let the Eurovision shit show 2024 begin. Kind of drunk, can't watch the night otherwise. Well, I'm just drinking coffee right now. Well, this is a Starbucks Frappuccino. Just to keep me a little bit, caffeinated. We do have only like less than 30 minutes until the show starts. So I will also call this, we're going to end this live stream in just a moment. But I want to say thank you, everyone in the chat, mostly. Thank you for the mods. I know it's probably been a busy day. I really appreciate their help. Hopefully the slow chat helped out a little. But I want to say thank you, everyone who has been so open and just supportive here. I know we all are meh. I'm meh. You're meh. We're all meh. But I don't want to give up on the contest that has brought so much joy to me more than half of my life. So way more than half of my life. What am I talking about? So I don't want to give up on it. I'm not ready because the part of my upbringing would be gone. Again, the contest is bigger than everything else. Am I right? So thank you so much for watching, though, and I really, really appreciate. And if you have time afterwards, come back for a chat and we can celebrate or cry or be indifferent about whatever it may happen. Okay. Enjoy the show. I will be, of course, on Twitter tweeting around on Matt ESC United and ESC United, and otherwise I'll see you on the other side. I will post the link to the next show shortly. All right. Bye.